Hello and welcome to the Fen Den. I'm your host, Sean Allen Fenn, and my goal is to win your hearts and to change your minds. Guilty of not knowing the how. How now, brown cow? How is what matters, okay? That's what this episode of the Fen Den is about. And as you guys know, as you've been listening to the Fen Den, where my goal is to win your hearts and change your minds, I am always learning something new every day, and I imagine you are too, and that's why that you've been listening, and I'm so glad I can make time to do this for you. I want to really build not followers, but leaders. And that means that I have to practice what I preach. In that respect, I am really focusing now on how. Because I've got my why I do what I do. The why is the easy part, actually, as soon as you articulate it. The why for me is that I discovered that I really enjoy helping people reach their dreams. And that's kind of that's my purpose, okay? This is what I'm on this planet to do. I'm here to be someone who influences human culture and having a role for social change, cultural innovation, nurturing, being empathetic, and helping people realize their dreams. Okay, sometimes it might be to personal neglect when I cannot, at the moments when I don't know how. And this week I had this realization that I need to express how I do what I do and what I know how to do that separates me from everyone else. And that is what I want to emphasize today on the Fen Den. And it is important right now, as I've been looking for some new opportunities and seeing ways that I can improve and looking at ways that I can add value for people. Do you guys know who Hank Norman is? Hank Norman is a really interesting character. He's worked for some of the top people, personalities and celebrities, from Barbara Walters, Steve Harvey, Grant Cardone, and he's helped cable networks like Oxygen. He is one of the guys behind the scenes that helps to make celebrities. And he recently said something that really struck me, and I thought it really resonated. If you follow his Instagram, he just posted something about what's your unique how. And his point was that, Simon Sinek has his whole thing about what's your why, which has become really popular and an important message. You absolutely need to know why you do what you do. Okay, but then what falls through the cracks is your unique how. How you do things sets you apart. Okay? It's not just why you're doing something, but how you're doing it that will be the thing that sets you apart from everyone else. And that is where your value lies. Now, we can't forget all of these things. What, why, and how. Okay? So who you are, what you're offering, why you're offering it, why you do it, and then how you do it. So all of those things need to be there, okay? And that is becoming more and more just like coming to the surface for me as I'm continuing to grow my audience and like help and become my ideal self as you are, and that's probably why you're listening to the Fen Den with your host Sean Allen Fenn. Follow me on Instagram at Sean Allen Fenn. And that's what this is about. And so I want to give you some examples. Some kind of cutthroat examples. Okay, I'm going to not mention any names. But see, I opened with saying I'm guilty of this because I am. Because if I didn't fully know how to do something, and one person says that you have to take action. Of course, we have to take action. Take massive action. Just decide to start doing something. And then you'll figure out how to do it later. And while that is a good, that's one way to do it. I don't disagree with that. It's important, though, to figure out your how, like right away. And then really making it clear. Your who, your what, your why, and your how. For example, I talked to this company that I was considering working for, and I have my doubts about them. There's some like obvious things. Sometimes, do you ever feel like you're a sucker sometimes? I do. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a sucker. I'm like, okay, because we just want to serve. We just want to be useful. We want people to, I don't know if you do, but I want to feel like I'm doing something for someone of value. Okay, not just busy work, not just kind of spinning my wheels, but doing something of value, a higher purpose that's making a difference. And that is all fine and dandy as long as you know how you're going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to read some of the copy on this company's website. Okay, the headline, when you land on this company's website, when you open up, there's like this flash page that like shows their logo before even you like go into the website. That's a no-no. You don't need to put your logo, like you don't need like a whole like second of your logo being displayed. Okay, so you go to this website, and then before you see anything, like it's just their logo, and like it's there, and then it opens up. Okay, no one cares about your logo. And then on the top, okay, this is what you want to avoid, and this is why I say I'm guilty, because I'm learning how to avoid making these mistakes myself. Okay, so you go to the top of their website. It says personal interactions, effective campaigns, fast growth. That's it. Okay, good. All right, well, let's see. Okay, then the headline says fast sales outcomes. Okay, I still don't know how they do it. Our interactive campaigns enhance brand awareness and impact bottom lines. All right. There's a bunch of, I don't need to bore you with all these words. You can rest assured that it kind of goes on like this without any specifics. You would think interactive means digital, but lo and behold, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to read you something that is so vague, you have to read between the lines. It's so obvious, like thank God that I have people around me that point things out that I miss and like help me. You know you're wealthy if you have good friends. They're looking out for you. So my friend had to like point this out. It's like, wait. Are you sure you want to waste your time with this company? Okay, so effective campaigns. And the company name specializes in interactive marketing because it sets the standard in the industry. We're centered in the heart of New York City. Okay, here's where it starts to get a little doubtful, because they're not located in the heart of New York City. They're located 2 hours away from New York City. Okay, so, alright. I don't know, that just automatically disqualifies them, because they're not located in the heart of New York City. And then it goes on to say, let's see, okay, New York City, and then it talks about New York City, I guess. A region filled with trendsetters like us. Alright, so you're trendsetters, okay. With prestigious partnerships and years of experience, we create sustained growth in a market that changes faster than the stock exchange. Okay. What does the stock exchange have to do with this? And does the stock exchange really, in what way does this, I can't. In what way, I'm talking to this website. Mr. Website, you're telling me, okay, the copy says, we create sustained growth in a market that changes faster than the stock exchange. In what way do you do that? How, what do you mean faster than the stock exchange? Do you mean like the stocks themselves, the volatility, or do you mean the actual stock market, the stock exchange? I'm not sure what you're implying here. In the heart of the Big Apple, again, they're not located in the heart of the Big Apple. They're located 2 hours away, or at least by train. Faster by car probably, but they're out somewhere in Queens. Okay, so I got it. I'm going to try to be nice. No, I don't need to be nice. Being nice is not... it's not going to help anything. I'm here to just... Look, I'm here because I don't want to make these mistakes. I make these kind of mistakes where I'm just like... It's so easy to kind of not be crystal clear sometimes, and then you get like you have to fill up all of these filler words and all of these kind of meaningless paragraphs. In the heart of the Big Apple, we create and launch initiatives that outdo the competition and land measurable returns. Okay, great. There are no case studies. What kind of measurable returns? I see no case studies. Okay, so I click on, it says our approach. And then it goes to, you see the logo. The logo flashes. It could be just like so much faster if they didn't have that freaking logo flashing, like transition. That's so 90s. To do a transition. Look, if you have a website, don't slow it down by putting this like fancy transition of showing off your logo. No one freaking cares about your logo. If people care about your logo, they will tattoo it on themselves. They will get decals made, and they will put decals on things of your logo. Let the people decide if your logo is good or not. You don't have to flash it in front of people and get in between the information that they want. Okay, so now we go to this page and it says facilitating growth fast. We interact with consumers to increase sales and market share. Okay, and then, so they say facilitating growth fast. We interact with consumers to increase sales and market share. And then right after that it says meet our team. But in between, this is incongruent. Again, I'm looking at ways that I can improve what I do by noticing these kind of things and trying to avoid them myself. So it's incongruent because first they're talking about we interact with consumers to increase sales. They don't say how. And then they just go to meet our team. So it takes you to, again, the logo, a flashing logo. And then there are these stock photos. And it says committed to excellence. Well, that doesn't even mean anything. Committed to excellence. Committed to excellence. Our team members challenge each other to reach higher. Okay, still nothing about their clients. Take a look. You click on the button. It says take a look. And then, again, the flashing logo. And then it brings you to a page that says outdoing the competition. Okay. How are they outdoing the competition? We outperform digital ads. This is interesting. How do you outperform digital ads in an age where everything is digital and digital wins? How do you outperform digital ads? Elevating brands above their competition. Okay, what brands? Still, I see no brands. There's just a picture of these guys. I'm not going to be mean, but they could use a stylist. I'll just put it that way. Okay, our approach. And you click it. And then again, the flashing logo. Facilitating growth. I'm sorry, guys. This is boring. I can't. There's no how. So I called them. I left a message. I couldn't get a hold of them. But I needed to know, where are your case studies? I need to make sure that I can be of value to you. So I need to know specifically what you're doing and if I can help you reach your goal. All right. You can just kind of use your intuition. I don't know why I don't use my intuition more. I mean, I do and I don't. I know why. The times when you don't use your intuition, or at least when I don't, is because I'm distracted by little things, not focusing on big ultimate purpose to make a meaningful contribution to society, to help people to realize their dreams. And that's also to my detriment because I need to focus on the how and the specifics of how you do what you do, how I do what I do. Okay, and that is why I am making this episode of this podcast, The Fen Den, with your host Sean Ellen Fenn, because, I'm taking you along on the journey. I don't have it all figured out. We learn as we go. We make mistakes, but the important thing is that we don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And maybe some of us learn faster than others. We're all endowed with different talents and abilities. And that's why we need each other. On the other hand, be careful who you listen to, though. It's important to know your purpose. And it's important when you know your purpose, you have to be very careful who you take advice from. And you have to evaluate what you see happening in their lives with the advice they're giving to you, remembering that you are not them and they are not you, but acknowledging that success leaves clues. Okay, so it takes some scrutiny to know who you're getting your information from and how relevant is it to your purpose, your ultimate goal. Does it get you closer to your desired outcome? If so, and how does it get you closer? And then how does it, if you take their advice, how far away does it get you from your desired outcome? Now, of course, we can't know everything. We don't know what we don't know. And we have to, I'm saying we, because I'm really saying me, I'm telling you this, and hopefully it will resonate with you. And I'm just sharing what I learned, what I'm learning so far about myself too. As we're becoming the best version of ourselves, this is what this is about. I want to talk to you about this more, okay? Because the people you surround yourself with are a good indication of who you are and what you're capable of. They're also they can also lead you astray. Okay, if a person doesn't have like the same fundamental purpose that you do, there's a scripture that says in the Bible to not be unequally yoked. And that means that when the farmers are tilling the land, they would use these oxen, and they would have to have them held together, and it's called a yoke, and they would be held together, and so they could effectively till their land. Which reminds me of something that, do you guys know Tim's story? He always says something really great, that he tills his land. So the land that you're given, you need to take care of it. All right? As I look around, I see a lot of things I need to get taken care of. And when you till the land, the farmer's oxen had to be equally yoked. So one couldn't be smaller than the other, or else, they wouldn't be effective. And one oxen can't be wanting to go a different direction, and it can't be ill. They both have to be of equal strength and equal determination. And that means that who you align yourself with, who you have alliances with in your relationships, romantic, business, otherwise, need to be of equal proportion. Another way to say it is this is another challenge that maybe you faced if you're an entrepreneur, is finding your ideal client. And this is important because your ideal client will have the same kind of, not exactly the same, like maybe doing exactly what you're doing, but they will have the same core drive. You could say they have the same values. And while we're all on a different part of the path, when you listen to what people say, you should also listen to what people don't say. For instance, if I were to offer you $1 million, let's say it wasn't me, but let's say that a billionaire comes to you and offers you $1 million to jump off a plane without a parachute. What question do you need to ask? What question do you need to ask, okay? What would you say? Would you say, no, I won't jump off a plane for $1 million without a parachute? And the billionaire says, okay, really? Well, how about 2 million? Would you jump out of a plane with no parachute for $2 million? What question would you need to ask before you answer this question? Before you answer him or her? Would you turn down the money? No, 2 million is not enough for me to jump out of a plane without a parachute. But remember, it's what is not being said that really matters. Because the question that you should ask in this thought experiment is, well, is the plane on the ground? Yes, it is. It is on the ground. You just presumed that it was in the air. You presumed it was in the air and you would jump out without a parachute and die. And then you would forego the $1 million or the $2 million when, if you would have asked, is the plane on the ground? Is the plane on the air? Where is the plane? And you have to recognize what is not being said. This is very important because it can change everything in a moment. Your decisions that you make, if you don't ask the right questions, you're going to make the wrong decision. Okay, so how can you always make the right decision? Is it possible to always make the right decision? You have to ask the right questions. So when someone asks me, so what do you do? And I say, I help people realize their dreams. I can't leave it at that. That's so vague. It's true that is what I want to do, but that's too vague. Okay, so instead, you want to be able to first bring their attention, bring everyone's attention to the big idea first. Move it up to the big idea. Okay, and that is where the why is. So why is important. And then you have to talk about how. So why do I do that? Well, I believe that everyone is here for a reason and everyone has a purpose. That's why we're here. And what is your purpose? I want to help you to bring that out, to bring it to fruition with the unique talents and abilities and perspective that God gave me. Because imagine if you go your whole life never doing what you were here to do, and you are never fulfilled, and you never become the person who you were destined to be. Imagine how disappointing that would be on your deathbed. What would you do? Would you have any regrets? Or would you want someone like me who can see in you what you are bringing to the world that is unique to you, that no one else can do quite like you do it, that is incredibly valuable to the world? Because that is what I'm here to do, and how I do it is because I want to get to know you. And if there is something, if we're equally yoked, in other words, if we share the same values, the same purpose, the same desire to be the best person we can be, to help as many people as we can, you can't help everyone. And sometimes I forget that you can't help everyone. It has to be very focused. But if I know that you are making that there's something that you are here to do, and that I can help you do it. I will do that by finding out exactly what your desired outcome is. What exactly do you want? And I say that because, again, I'd say it to myself, and this is, I can think back and realize the times when I've got off track is because I forgot. Wasn't crystal clear about exactly what result, what outcome that I really want. And I need to know from you, from a client, what outcome that you really want. Okay, and then to find out what is your unique how. And if that how and that why are crystal clear and they can match up, so your how is distinctive, how you do what you do, why you do what you do, who you are, and what you do. No one ever buys anything until you solve a problem for them. So what are you doing? What problem are you solving for people? And maybe it's not even, that big of a problem. I love the quote from Elon. I'm pretty sure it's Elon Musk who said this, but I'm paraphrasing again. The money that you make is equal or in proportion to the problem that you solve. So if it's a tiny problem, you're going to get tiny money. If it's a big problem, you're going to get big money. And it's simply, remember, money is not the goal here. As much as it is a useful tool, it is not the goal. Remember, it's a byproduct of serving people, of solving their problems. And the measure by which you solve their problem is the measure of which you get paid. Now, I'm saying that because I need to be reminded of it myself and practice what I preach. When things happen and we get stressed out in life, it happens to everyone. You can lose sight and get desperate. And desperation is never a good thing. It's the only, never. There are times when it's a good thing. Okay, remember, anytime someone says never and always, words like that, there's information missing. The times when desperation is a good thing is when it gets you to take action because you need it, because that's good for what you need to happen. Now what led to the desperation, you need to recognize what led to it and not let it happen again and again. This is the thing I'm discovering. When there are times in my life when I've gotten desperate and people can sense that and it's a turn off. It's just subconsciously, people don't like desperation. You know that feeling that you get when you see that someone is desperate. You get this feeling like, ooh, why is that? It's because maybe it's something from when we were cavemen, and the desperate ones are the ones that are about to die, and so you need to get away from them so you can live, just for self-preservation. You don't want to hang around desperate people because there's a reason they're desperate, and you don't want to get into it. You don't want to get in their desperate environment. So how can you not be desperate? It's going to happen. You're going to get desperate. You're going to get hungry. There are times when you're going to be desperate. But don't stay there too long. Okay, there's no easy solution to any of this, obviously. Okay, but this is what I'm learning. Till your land. Remember, I look up Tim Story if you guys don't know who Tim Story is. But that's something that he always says. And these are words that I need to hear. I'm telling myself so that I can practice what I preach, okay? Because when you're on top of things, you don't get desperate as much. Because it's easy to let things get out of control. And things are going to get out of control sometimes. You're going to have your peaks and your valleys in life. I don't have to remind you that, you know, that we're going to go through ups and downs. You can remember times when you had a lot going for you, and you can remember dry spells. And that's fine, because we need... Imagine how boring life would be if we didn't have like these situations where, you know, we feast or famine. So there's nothing wrong with it. These things are going to happen. And it's how you deal with it the next time. The next time it happens. How you deal with it now. How you pivot now. That's what matters. The decision that you make right now. Like recognizing you've gotten yourself into this situation. Now, what can you do to correct it? And then you will get through it. And now, what can you do to become better for it and stronger? Because the fact is that problems are a gift. That's right. A problem is a gift. Remember that. A problem is a gift. That's why when I hear people say, I don't want any problems, they want to live carefree. Well, do you really? Because a problem is a gift. And it's a challenge, it's a test. You have an opportunity when you face problems. You have an opportunity to solve the problems. Imagine how boring life would be without problems to solve. I really believe that life is a test. And that's okay, I'm going to mention my book. And I'm writing a book called The Power Within the Freedom of Choice. And I touch on this. I really think that we only get one shot in general. But on a micro level, we get a lot of little chances to make up for our mistakes. We really do. They say that cats have 9 lives. Well, if you think about it, humans, we only live once. I mean, if reincarnation is a thing, I don't know, I can't prove it, but we only live once. But within our life, we have a lot of little micro chances to make it right. And that's what I want you to look for going forward. Look for the little chances that you can make things right. And without making someone else wrong. What little micro opportunity do you have? Because you can't recognize the big opportunities if you miss the little ones, right? I'm going to leave you with that. But before I conclude this episode of The Fen Den with your host, Sean Allen Fenn, by the way, please like and subscribe. Subscribe on iTunes. Share this with someone if I've added any kind of value. I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to leave you with a question. What is something that you're going to do today that will determine the rest of your life? Thanks for listening. Be amazing. Thanks for being awesome. Remember, what you do next will change your life forever.